Welcome to PamoJah Roots. Welcome to PamoJah Roots. PamoJah Roots. Pam, 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 pam. PamoJah Roots. Conscious rhythm. Conscious rhythms. PamoJah Roots.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to PamoJah Roots podcast. We are coming to you live from Eton Hotel. This is Eton Radio, and Eton Hotel is on Nathan Road, 380 Nathan Road, and it's a four-star hotel. There's a food hall all around where we are. They have got rooms for rent, summer packages, and they have a bar at the fourth floor called Terrible Baby, which they feature international and local DJs during the weekends. And so if you're around Kowloon side in Hong Kong, please drop by at Eton Hotel, and a big thank you for them for giving us this platform where we educate, elevate, and even entertain at the same time. So like I said, this is PamoJah Roots podcast. I am Rahyym, and PamoJah means together in Swahili. That's from Africa. And so PamoJah Roots is together. We come from the roots. We could be in the same forest, different trees, but we are all connected from the roots. Our stories, where we come from, and what we've done in life that has helped people. And that's why I do this podcast, just to bring friends along and to know their stories, because they are my friends, but I don't know really all their childhood stories, and it would be fun to know about it. So today is the fourth episode, and my guest is a very cool guy, very humble guy. I know this guy for like more than 10 years, maybe 12, 13 years ago. I remember meeting him at one of the events at Triple X actually, and he was playing the drums while the DJ was playing, and it was cool. So Makhaa is like has been here in Hong Kong for many years. He is like an ambassador for the Africans here, because what he has done, he's taken the culture from Senegal, his hometown, and brought it to Hong Kong and given Africa in a positive way, exchanging the culture through drumming. He uses a drum called Djembe, and Djembe is a drum that comes from West Africa, a traditional drum. And as we all know, the drum is one of the most important elements in music. If you want people to dance the African way, you gotta have drums. He has done countless events, and I'm honored to be in some of the events that we've played together. We've done corporate events. Actually, before I left, we did one corporate event. The one that had the ambassador from Colombia, from Tanzania. You remember? Yeah, you put me on that, man. That was cool. PamoJah, yeah. And then we did some in Lama. I remember there's a time when the one of Lama, you didn't know I was DJing, and I started playing and you started drumming, and I'm like, who's that drumming? And then when I see it's you, and you're like, who's that DJing? And you look back and you see it's me. It's like, oh, and it was just flowing. He was a performer, like at my fundraiser back in 2015. I'm forever grateful for that, because I remember I sent you a message and I told you what was happening and I needed this to be done, and you were like, bro, I'll be there, tell me the time. And that day you came through, and it was awesome, and I'm really, really grateful forever for you coming and showcasing what you could do, and people enjoyed it. It was really the energy you bring to the dance floor with your drums is like unmatched. Like I have seen people dancing and doing all that, and apart from all that, I know you do workshops. You teach kids how to drum. You teach adults how to drum from the basics to the professional level, right? You have your own band and members who you go through around Asia playing in festivals. You've been to Clock and Flap. Like it's, I don't know what to say, man. It's really so much I could talk about you because I know you and I know as one of the coolest guy. We've hung out. It's always been positive vibes, and I'm really, really happy to have you here as my fourth guest at PamoJah Roots. Welcome, my brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so let's kick it off, man. I do want to know who is Makhaa, where you from, and you know, you speak perfect English. I know Senegal, they speak French as a first language.
Yeah,
True?
correct.
So I would like to know how, you know, your life. It will be interesting, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Welcome.
a long story and ups and downs, as you know. But yeah, I'm from Senegal, West Africa,
Yeah, man.
and I'm from a small little island called Gore Island,
Mm-hmm.
with full of history and everything. So, but then the history kind of makes it into a kind of melting pot as well. So you
Yeah.
get people from all over the place. Artists, it's like a heaven for artists because it's very inspirational. Because there's arts all over the place and music all over the place. It's a tiny little island.
Yeah.
So you hear, even if you don't want to play drums, you're gonna hear it. So you get to learn the drumming in your ears before even you actually go and play it. So it's yeah, that's the kind of environment I grew up.
Nice. So as a kid,
Hmm.
there was drumming all around you,
Yeah, pretty much.
and was this like live drumming or on the radio, on
Oh,
TV?
live
Drumming.
drumming. Yeah. As I said, it's a tiny little island,
Yeah.
and you know how drum travel. It was
Yeah.
meant to kind of like transmit messages.
Yeah.
So in this small island, you can't help it. If someone is up there in the mountain plays it, this thing reaches you everywhere in this island. It's that small, that island. So basically, like I said, you can't get away from it. Even if you don't want it, it's just part of you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like talking drums.
Talking
Like-
drum, Djembe,
Yeah.
Sabar, Sabar, which is the traditional Senegalese drum, because we have, like you called it,
Yeah.
West Africa. It's like, we got few countries there,
Yeah.
and this was like, this drum came out during the Manding Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then obviously afterward, with colonizations, different countries,
Yeah.
and things kind of spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
But this djembe, this drumming culture remains throughout all these, like 5 to 6 countries in West Africa that plays this.
Yeah.
So they still have the same culture about this because it's the roots, right? But then
Yeah.
at the same time in Senegal we have drums that is only played in Senegal by Senegalese, and the dance also goes together. It's called sabar drum.
Sabali.
Sabar.
Sabal.
Sabar.
Sabar.
Sabar. So this sabar thing is
Yeah.
it's typical Senegalese, and actually it's really hard for even if you're a professional drummer from let's say Guinea, if you come
Mm.
and you want to learn this rhythm, it's so complex because it goes with our language.
Ah.
So you kind of have to understand the language to really get the whole concept. And same as the dance. The dance is one of the most energetic and physical dance you can ever see.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So it takes some learning to get that type of drumming and
Yeah.
dancing done.
And you can play that.
Yes, but it's not my forte. My forte is djembe.
Djembe.
Djembe is what I know most. But I can play that, of course. As a Senegalese, I know my way through that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak?
I speak Wolof, which is my
Yeah.
traditional language.
Wolof.
Wolof.
Yeah.
And then we speak, of course, French is the official language.
Yeah.
And then there is another language we call Tukulur, which is really, I mean, like I know 5% of it.
Okay.
It's just the greetings and stuff I know about. Obviously English and a bit of Cantonese, since I've been here, I've picked up a little bit though, not enough to say
Yeah.
I speak, but I can,
Communicate.
communicate.
It's important,
basics.
man. Yeah.
Very important, yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, man. That's cool. So as a kid,
Yeah.
like, do you have siblings?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Do they also play drums? Are they older than you? Like,
Yeah, I have two older brothers.
yeah.
I have two younger brothers, and then I have
Okay.
three older sisters.
Wow. Big
So,
family.
big family, yes.
Yeah. African family.
You know how it is, right? And one of my younger brothers play
Ah, okay.
Djembe, the same as I play.
Yeah.
And he's been here, Ali.
Ali, yeah,
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 that's
I've
right.
met him.
Yeah, and then one of my other younger brother he actually plays instrument. He plays drum, but he plays a drum called asiko. We call it. It's a square drum.
Okay.
That's the one also my late dad used to play a lot.
Ah,
So,
man.
but then I came and I started playing djembe,
Nice.
and then my younger brother, the youngest one, plays djembe like me. But then the one before him, he kind of plays the square drum. So you know, it's drumming, but
Different,
different style, yeah, yeah.
different styles.
Yeah. But then my older brothers, no, they don't. They work. One of them is a tailor. He's great at making my costumes. Actually, when I perform it, he makes them.
Nice.
So it's you know, it's, remains in the
Bro,
family.
I've seen your costumes. They are
Man,
wicked,
so
man.
my brother does them, yeah, man.
Ah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. So, as a kid, like, when did you start playing the drums? Did you just have drums at home and you just started playing, or you went to the neighbors, or you'd hear the drums, you'd go watch people play? How did you pick it up?
Hey, man, you know how it is in Africa. Like you said, if you can hear it from wherever you are, it
Yeah.
basically you don't have to even have a real drum to start playing.
Yeah, yeah,
Bottles, we used to just grab empty bottles. We used to grab tables, everything you can get a hand on. Cause exactly. But then, of course, you know, you go to your big brothers, you know, the places in the house. There's always a drum here and there you can
Yeah.
play on and you know get to practice your
Yeah.
skills and stuff. But then it gets to a certain age, you know, like you have to really now go and learn the actual culture, learn the meaning of the drums, the rhythms, what they mean, how to put them together and everything, because you know they've got a
Structure.
absolutely.
You have to learn. So you went to actually learn how to play drums.
Yeah,
You-
that's it. Yes, sir. And from various teachers as well.
Oh, okay.
And elderlies, because you know you go
Yeah.
with them, you kind of learn, you just follow them when they teach.
Yeah.
So they pass you stuff. You learn
Yeah.
like that, and they tell you stuff. And then at the point you have to make it official. You gotta join a group where
Yeah.
you can, you know, practice and put shows together and put like a whole dance and drum routine together. You know, so then yeah, you kind of step your game from there.
Mm.
But you definitely have to learn the foundation, which is obviously, you know, the first step you do for everything.
Yeah, man. So you mentioned your late dad also played the square drum.
Yeah.
Was he an influence in you learning? Did he appreciate you learning the drums, or was it like, no, you gotta go to school? No, like, how did he take it if when you wanted to play the drums?
Man, my dad was the coolest dad, man. I mean,
Yeah, man.
he never made it hard for me. Literally on anything except swimming. You know?
Can you swim? Of course you can. You live in the
I'm a swimmer,
island.
man.
I know. I know.
Actually, it's my first thing. Swimming is my first thing. Believe it or not, from a small island like that, all
Yeah.
we did was swimming every day, man.
Yeah,
Like from
yeah.
this spot to the next one, this walks to the next walk, you know.
Yeah.
when the ferry comes, we go and meet the ferry, you know, hang on to it, climb up, ask the tourists, because we have a lot of tourists back home. Ask
Yeah.
them to throw some coins. We will dive and pick it up in the water, and they go, "Wow, how do you do it?" So you know, that was our campaign when we were
Nice.
very young. So obviously, you know, my dad was cool, so he didn't have problem with me doing things I wanted to do.
Mm.
You know, he had me going to school. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of dropped out of school a bit early, I have to say.
Oh.
Because I just didn't feel like sitting there, someone telling me what to do. I don't. I'm sorry, you know. I just didn't find that very cool when I was, you know.
Yeah.
When I was young, I was okay. I was very good at school until I
Yeah.
reached primary 4. Is that the last one, right? Primary 3, 4.
You mean it depends on your, because we have a different system. We go to like standard 8, and then
Yeah.
you have like from form 1 till form 4, and then now you go to university.
Anyway, for me, just primary. I'm talking about just the end of primary studies.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
like
enough.
13, 14 years.
Exactly. That's when I had enough. I was like, I don't want to do this stuff anymore. You know? I mean, but then my dad says, okay, then you got to choose something, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, because I love cars, I love stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? I want to learn mechanics.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, I'm gonna get into a mechanic school.
Yeah.
I'm like, a mechanic school? Oh, that sounds good. Okay, I'll go and do that. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go into this cars. I'll be, doing this stuff like
Yeah.
manually, right? Then you have to go, of course, in school, sit down again and learn all this stuff. I was like, nah, I don't want this one. And I remember I kept asking my schoolmates or classmates,
Yeah.
when we when we get to go out and actually, handle the cars and parts and do stuff, like months later or something, I said, no,
Yes.
I don't have time for this. So I lost interest, and I kind of just quit. And as soon as I quit that, I went back to the island and I just focused on drumming. It was like a calling to me, I just,
Yeah.
for some reason, I just had to go back home, and I didn't know even why I was going back home, but when I went back, it's just, my dad was like, okay, well, I paid all this money for all this year, and now just coming back, what you're going to be doing? I'm like, I don't know yet, but I like drumming.
Yeah.
I had no problem with it, and slowly, I started to really put it as number one priority.
Okay.
So that's when I land myself to it.
Nice. Wow. I can imagine your dad, you coming back, like you don't want to go to school, the mechanic school you've dropped out. You have older brothers who are also, were they still in school?
My older brothers?
Yeah.
Some
Did they drop off, or was it only you?
Actually, one of them didn't go with us. So one of them was in Togo, actually.
Oh, okay.
One of my older brothers have Togolese. So
Okay.
he grew up there. We didn't get to see him a lot until
Okay.
we kind of reached a certain age. But the other one, he had a job by that time already. He was working as a security.
Oh, nice.
So and also we didn't get to see him very much. So actually, I was the oldest that he stayed at home with my two younger brother and one of my older sisters. The other ones, they got married. They moved out a bit. So
Nice.
yeah.
So were you like rebellious? Did you feel like you like a rebel? Did you feel like that, or like your parents were just cool with whatever you can do and it's fine?
I can't say I was rebellious. No, I wasn't. I mean, I was a very naughty boy. I mean, I would. If you tell me don't go there, that's exactly where I'm going. Put it that way. I was curious. I wanted to. I was just finding out what's the limits are most of the time. But not major problems. No, I was okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
And so, like this time, as a kid, like you had like a dream, and your parents had a dream for you, and you watching your brothers grow up and seeing them go in different directions. Like, what did you think you wanted to be? Was it the mechanic or the drummer? Did you have like another dream, or did your parents also want you to be like, I want you to be a lawyer, or want you to do this or that?
No, that's what I'm saying. I never had that pressure of being something in particular. No, my dad was very cool with that. He didn't bother. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as he had some values that I need to follow. As long as I'm following those,
Yeah.
the rest is fine. It's not like, I mean, I get it. In Africa we got parents that obviously they wanna put their kids somewhere and they wanna see the kids reach a certain level or a certain job if they want.
Yeah.
I just never had that. The only issue I had was my mom, who didn't like the drum. I mean, because I used to bring the drum, the actual drum at home
Yeah.
at night, and my mom thought it was a bit wacky to have it in the house and everything.
Yeah.
And then also he didn't want my younger brother to drum. 'Cause
Yeah.
Back then, in Africa also there is that little bit of stereotype when it comes to drummers and artists and something. Once you start going locks, everything
Yeah.
goes on. These guys. But my mom didn't want that, so he didn't want my younger brother to follow that. But
Yeah.
it was a bit too late because I think my younger brother had caught up to it.
So you were the bad influence.
in her point of view, in drumming.
Yeah, in drumming,
'cause you wanted, But then at the same times, I remember I used to bring the drum at home, and dude, I remember one day, man, she had to chase me out. Because our drums, they're quite stretched, they're very high pitched. Right?
Yeah.
So I had one and I put it in the house. I was sleeping. Well, I went out actually. At some point, I heard the drum just went poof. He kind of breaks. The skin kind of splits.
Yeah.
And it does this kind of like a machine gun noise, like boom.
Boom.
So my mom went, of course, freaked out. So she goes, I told you don't bring this crazy stuff here. This. I don't know what happened to this crazy drum. All of a sudden it broke. I'm like, Mom, this is how it is. You know, you stretch it very much. We play a lot with it. You know, at some point it's
Yeah.
gonna give. She's like, no, I just don't want this stuff and things like that. So that's the only challenge I have, to be honest. The rest, nah,
Mm.
they made it easy for me.
Nice. So this time, like, were you speaking English at this time?
Oh no, at all, man. I have no English whatsoever.
Wow. So it was just French and the Wolof.
Exactly.
And then, so you decided to do the drum, like to pursue the drumming, and
Yeah.
your dad was like, okay, he's cool with it. How many years did you continue drumming before you got an opportunity to come to Hong Kong? Did you drum in your hometown? Did you make it?
Oh yes. I mean, for drummers, it's very hard to make it in your hometown because
Yeah.
it's part of the culture. It's thing. People
Yeah.
don't feel like they gotta pay for
Yeah.
something that is part of you know what I mean. The point of
understand.
view is maybe different to someone who has a gig and go and sing somewhere. But we don't. We just play traditionally.
Yeah.
So you make a little bit, but we also used to do a lot of workshops. Though I have to be honest, we used to have
Yeah.
some big brothers from Japan. You know, they used to doing great there. They used to come and bring a group of 20 Japanese and stuff. So we used to host them in the island, teach them drumming, dancing, and then excursions and everything. So we
Yeah.
used to get decent income from that. Apart also we have some classes because like I said, the island is it's super international, man. You won't believe it. So we got some foreign kids who want to do classes. I
Yeah.
teach them. So I used to do that even before I come in.
Oh.
So used to run a few classes here and there, and but then at some point also you have to mix it up with other stuff. I was doing construction work at the age of 16, man.
What? Respect, man.
I started
Respect.
hustling very early, so
16
I-
years.
Yeah, by 15, my mom said, "You know what, dude, I'm not gonna buy you anything anymore. You gotta take care of yourself. You have 2 younger brothers and stuff, and
Yeah.
things are not so easy back there, right?"
Yeah.
So I took it on, and I just said, "Look, you know what, I'm gonna get it done." So I quickly got this job. It's one of the hardest work you could ever done. It's like
I know,
building
man.
this monument on top of an old volcanic mountain. It's like basically trying
Wow.
to dig in a rock, solid rock.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally what we did.
With that
With one or with those big
hammers,
hammers
sledge,
and stuff, sledge and all
sledgehammer,
that.
yeah.
For a year though, but later the company kind of brought in those electric
Dredgers.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how we managed to get those holes digged out, and then so I worked like that for 3 years or 2 or 3 years straight up, man. Every morning wake up 6, man, dedicated, hustling, man, carrying his stuff up and down the mountain. It kind of built me up before I come here. I was like, it's after that when I come here, I sit like, man, all this hard work I was doing home, man, this is like a training for what I
Yeah.
do now. Because when I
Yeah.
moved into Lama,
Yeah.
you have a lot of drums with you at home.
Yes.
And you gotta go to events. You have to carry them, transport them. Oh, it was physical, man, as you can imagine. Carrying them through the Lama Hills, man, with a trolley. Sometimes I don't even see the road because the trolley is full of drums and you have to navigate.
Yeah.
Man, and obviously you have also people looking at who's this guy. I mean, it was a different time
Yeah.
all together those days. And then you have to do the hard work just to spread the word, and then
Yeah.
people see this stuff. And I'm telling you, it was really, really hard, just as hard as the job
Back
I was
home.
doing back home. So I was like, I can take on this because I spent 2 years working like madman up and down mountain.
Wow.
It's like, yeah,
That's dope.
man, I felt so good, man, just doing that and knowing that it's almost like it was meant to be. It was almost like I was physically and emotionally being prepared to get through this.
Yeah. It was a
10 years
calling.
in Hong Kong. Yeah, I swear, man. I mean, but yeah, man, that's it's gotta be done one way or the other, right?
I remember one day I came to visit you at Lama,
Mm-hmm.
and then we hung out at your place, and then you were having a gig
Yeah,
in the
true.
evening, and it was like, okay, I need to load up these drums on the trolley, and we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
there
yeah.
putting on the trolley, and then we rolled them all the way to the pier, we came with the ferry and
Yeah.
then took you to the taxi.
Exactly.
And then you left the trolley at the pier.
That's right.
And you loaded up first. First, I had to hold for you the drums for you to take back the trolley.
Yep.
And you're like, it's okay, you can go. Nobody's gonna touch. Who's gonna take the drums? Nobody's gonna take the drums anyway because they're even scared of it. They see it's me who has them. They'll be like, no,
No, they just don't know it. You know, they're like.
They know. They already know. So
By that time.
I mean, you told me that they know they cannot touch the drums. They already seen. They've seen
they
you.
touch it, yeah.
You've done that before.
Yeah.
And I could see you had like 5 or 6 drums and you were taking them to some gig and
Yeah.
I could see like really you really like up and down, yeah.
Man, 5, 6 drums is nothing for me, man. 5, 6.
Maybe it was more.
I mean,
I
it could
think
be
it was
5,
more.
6, but I'm just saying. Usually, I carry like 30, 20, 40, man. I've done that. Yeah.
Man, respect.
'Cause you only have a big workshop to do, man. You know,
Yeah.
I had no place to keep them in town. They were in my apartment on Lama.
I know.
So
I
you know
man.
that actually journey of taking them to the work and come back was harder than the actual job.
Yeah. So the actual job is just enjoying.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's work and enjoying, of course, because we love what we do. But
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
hard work is done
Yeah.
already, and it's waited also to take them
To
back.
take them
home.
back. Maybe at 2 in the morning.
It could be any time.
1
man.
a.m..
Sometimes I swear, man, any time, bro.
Wow.
But yeah, you know, it's part
So-
of the process.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate that. So, how did you get the opportunity to come to Hong Kong? Because you were doing like in between playing drums and doing construction.
Yeah.
So, suddenly an opportunity came and you jumped on it, or were you like chosen, handpicked? Like, hey, we would like you to follow us to Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's the latter. Actually, I was. This is right a year after I quit
Mm.
all this. I mean, the work.
Yeah, the
I was doing
construction.
construction work. It's a
Yeah.
year after, you know, we've done it. Actually, not quick, but we finished the whole project.
Okay, after the
Yeah,
project is done.
exactly. So then I get back to my normal routine of drumming. Every morning you wake up, you know, we have regular scheduled learning. I mean,
Yeah.
practice in the afternoon, evenings.
Yeah.
But in the mornings, you know, if you want to do your own practice, you can take the drum and go to the mountain or somewhere
Yeah.
just to practice your skills, right?
Yeah.
So I remember those days I was also into, you know, because I do sport, I do basketball. My dad used to be international Senegal in 3 different disciplines, you know.
Nice.
My dad used to be playing for Senegal in handball, swimming. He was like the guy in swimming in back home, you know, back in the days.
Nice.
And then basketball. And he does play soccer, but he never played for international. But he kind of
Yeah.
played it quite a high level. He actually went to France back in the days when there was no even plane. They took him from Senegal to
Mm.
France by boat. So he went there to do
Wow.
his sports. He did 4 different sports in his time in France.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Nice.
So the old man came back and, you know, like kind of kept this thing going. And I grew up with that. So I grew up with sport and music.
Yeah.
Like I could go either way. It doesn't matter, you know. It's
Yeah.
so then I was doing both. I was swimming in the morning. In the afternoon I go do basketball and drumming afterward, you know. Or in the morning if I don't have swimming thing, I go and practice my drumming and you know, the mountains. So I remember one morning I just woke up and I was feeling like I want to just drum. So I just went out, get my drums, and I get out the house. I walked up to the hill, and when I was going, I met this guy. You know Neil,
Mm.
drummer Neil in Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
By the way, we say hello to him. It's a big guy for us, you know.
Big
he's,
up, big up.
Big up, Neil. So with Neil, though, I met Neil.
Yeah.
So I met Neil to one of our older brothers there.
Yeah.
So I was going to play, and then, like I said, we always have some people coming to learn. So this older brother was supposed to meet Neil to teach him and, you know, get him to the Djembe lessons. But then he had another call up to actually teach a bigger group or something.
Okay.
So he delegated me to Neil. He said,
Yeah.
"Oh, Makhaa, why don't you go and teach Neil? You know, he's coming, wait for him in the mountain." So I went up the mountain, he started playing. And then while I wait for Neil to come, that's the first day I met Neil. So Neil came, we introduced, we met, and then, you know, we start doing lessons and having fun. And then we become friends, you know.
Yeah.
Along with Mansali, you know, Mansali, the other
Yeah.
Senegalese drummer here.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
another one who called Ibu. So we were 3 of us.
Okay.
So I was doing the teaching, and with the other guys, we all kind of become, a nice unit with Neil. And but then of course, it was just friendly thing. We were not getting the money. I think the older brother was the one Neil paying, so we were just there, happy to play and
Yeah.
meet Neil, and he was cool with us. So we become cool mates and stuff. And it's when Neil came back a year later. I forgot about this. I kept on doing my stuff, and I almost started to travel to West Africa.
Yeah.
I was just about to take my djembe and go to Mali, Guinea, just to improve my knowledge about this
Yeah.
stuff. Do a tour.
They're just neighboring countries, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mali,
Guinea,
the one on the north.
Exactly. You have Mali,
Yeah.
Guinea, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast.
Cape Verde is an island also near.
Cape is an island off my island actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because we are most west part of Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
And my island is even more west than the mainland.
Mm.
And then after that is Cape Verde, and then of course South America, North America, is this ocean. That's why they have the
Yeah.
slave trading that is happening exactly on my island. My island is the biggest
Oh, man.
place, where the last place we
Where
used to
the-
ship our ancestors from.
Yeah, man.
It's Gore Island. You need to check it out and learn the history. So
Man.
this is how I got to meet or play in front of Bill Clinton and Obama, all U.S. presidents. They have to come to that island and do a speech, kind of
Oh.
pardon a speech. Yeah, you can check it out. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I think I've seen in YouTube something like
Mm.
that. Like there's a place where they usually come, and there are people who invite them. They play drums. It's like they come just to, not to apologize or something, to like talk about it
yeah, exactly.
and say just like they think they're apologizing, but yeah.
Yeah, but you go check this island and then you find out. So
Okay.
with that kind of personality coming in, that's when we meet people. I've met people from like big stars. Because it's a small
Nice.
island, you get to see them every day.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So we were talking about you. So Neil came 1 year later.
exactly. So Neil came after 1 year later. He went
Yeah.
back to Hong Kong, and then
Came back to.
no, he didn't come back. He actually kind of connected with these old sisters of us that we had in the island.
Yeah.
Who was the one who could speak English, the only one. So everything was to him and to
Yeah,
her. So we
yeah.
used to contact her, and she would tell us, Neil wants you guys to go to Hong Kong and China to do like gigs. We had gigs lined up for us for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we came here already with everything lined up for us, because Neil had an idea of getting a band here, with us coming, and there was Oz, Oz.
Yeah, of
Oz
course,
Walker,
Oz, man.
Neil Oz, Stuart. There's another French guy,
Uh-huh.
Martinique French,
Martinique.
or Mauritius French guy.
Ah.
So him, and then another French guy called Ludovic. So we were like 7 of us.
7.
2 of us came to find those Neil and the other 3 here. And
Okay.
we were supposed to train, practice, and put a band called Djembe Massive.
Djembe Massive.
Yeah, this is the first band of drumming right here. in Hong Kong.
Nice. Djembe Massive.
Yep, and we used to perform, do a lot of, like, those gigs we came to do
Yeah.
was to Heineken. So we had some gigs. We did Rugby 7, so many stuffs around. So this is how I get to come here. I knew nothing about Hong Kong. It's not a plan or anything. It's just, I was happy enough to meet this cool guy,
Yeah.
share some time with him, Neil. He came back, he felt like, there's something we can do with
Yeah.
Hong Kong and stuff. So he invited us over here to do 2 weeks to go back. But then, 2 weeks, we do
You
something.
extended.
Yeah, people kind of, like it, and they offer us stuff, extend. And at some point we meet another uncle of us who's actually here. He's from
Ah.
Senegal, but we didn't know him. We met here, and then, one thing led to another one. We put another band together with him, and then, actually go and get it sponsored. And
Yeah.
we were sponsored by the Hong Kong Academy of Performing Art.
Yeah.
So that's where we get our first contract to stay in Hong Kong.
Nice.
And then from then on, we
Everything.
because you find out different options and different opportunities, and people also appreciate what you do and want to
Yeah.
do something with you. So you know how it goes from one to the
the
next
other.
one, right?
How long ago was this? Like this was in 2000s.
This was in 2001. I arrived in Hong Kong January 4th, 2001. Man, that's 24 years ago, bro.
Man, respect. Me,
mean,
I don't know. I always think that you were here around 207.
no, I was way before that, man. By
Yeah.
2002, I
I
was
was
already
already-
permanent, man. Yeah, it's been long.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's impressive, man. So at that time when you came to Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and you decided like, okay, like gigs were coming up, did you feel like you want to stay in Hong Kong or did you want to go back? Was there like a culture shock? Were you feeling like, I, I, I don't want to be here, everything is different? Did you have any culture shock?
I did.
English?
I did, man. Trust me.
At that time, were you speaking English?
No. I learned my English in here, man. When I came here.
Oh, respect.
'Cause I had
man.
no choice, man. 'Cause
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
time,
yeah.
we speak French. That time, it's no French to speak here.
Yeah.
So it was all English and Cantonese. I mean, I would love to learn it better than I have now.
Yeah.
But the issue was at that time you couldn't because it was a bigger jump from French to Cantonese. It was easier from French to
To
English.
English, yeah.
And that's what I could use also most in Lama anyway.
Yeah.
Because I was more with the international community there as well. You know, Lama, how it is.
Yes,
Especially,
yeah.
you know, back then we had a very, very cool community.
Yes,
really,
man.
really, tight community back in the days and all that. It still is now, but you know, it's just
Yeah.
a bit bigger and maybe different. But then, so I didn't speak English until I came here.
So how did you learn? Was it just through the community or did you join like British? Many people go to like British Council.
No, I didn't
have
join
the-
anything.
You
I just
freestyle.
Freestyle.
Respect.
You've got to, man.
I
mean,
know.
at that
Man, your
time-
English is. That's why I'm saying your English is perfect. I know also people who have come, who like, especially from Africa,
Mhm.
and their English is like still broken, but yours they have to join like British Council and take classes, but yours is
Yeah.
like, you had to. You had
Yeah,
no
exactly.
choice.
I had no choice, man.
Yeah, man.
And I found out like Lama was like a superb learning ground for me because I mean in general you can say that in Hong Kong as well because you know at some point I will speak to a Brit, just English people. They
Yeah.
have different accents.
Accents.
So just for you, I speak to one guy now and I go speak to another one. I'm like, are they speaking the same English, right? And then you have Chinese also with the accent, Indian, Pakistani. So you hear all these
Yeah.
Filipino different tones, and then you gotta learn that.
Yeah.
So you kind of, it's a challenge, big, but it kind of is a good training ground. Because
Yes,
you hear
man.
all tones, all accents.
That's true, man. So many accents you can hear around here.
Right.
The Nigerian accent,
Exactly.
South
right?
African accent, everything.
I'm
You think you're
telling
speaking to your brother, but his accent is
right?
another thing.
Hey, you know, it is.
Yeah. So, what about culture shock? What were you like when you arrived? You're like, we don't do this back in Africa. This is new to me.
I mean, I had the biggest culture shock as soon as I got off the train. The train from the airport, actually, not the train, actually, sorry.
The bus.
We took the train, yeah.
The,
Or the Express.
Express. Yeah. From
took
the airport.
All the way to, what's that Express? I think we took the train and then we took a taxi, yeah,
Yeah.
to Central Ferry Pier, right?
Yeah.
It was very different to what it is now, trust me. There was,
It
no
was
even
all,
IFC.
there was no island. It was all water.
No IFC, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, not even IFC, and quite a lot of buildings were not there.
Yeah.
So I remember I just turned around though. I just got off the taxi and I just turned around. I looked at the whole building. I'm like, no way. I'm not staying here. I can't. I was like, Neil, no man, but I can't stay here. Or at least I will do my 2 weeks. I gotta go because this is, it was very different because I couldn't see any opening. All I saw is just buildings. I'm like, how is this what this place is? And I was shocked because we know nothing about Hong Kong. I'd never
Yeah.
see a picture or anything. The only thing I saw was China. Like
Yeah.
the movies, Kung Fu. So I had my pictures was like the China back in the days, those movies. So when I came, I saw all of this. I was like, wow, man, this is kind of overwhelming. This is a bit too much. So then Neil is like, no, don't worry, man. There is a Gordy Island, which is where I come from. He told me there is another one right here. I said, no, it cannot be. All of this. He said, just wait. And then the ferry comes in, the Lama ferry. I was like, oh, this looks familiar because
Yeah,
we
ferry.
have ferries as well. And we get on it. As soon as the ferry goes around, Kennedy Town, you see.
It was
whole-
actually, there was no Kennedy Town at that time. It was there, but no MTR, anything.
No, nothing
Yeah.
like that, bro. So, but it was Kennedy Town, right? It's still
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So, but when you turn around, like the ferry kind of gets off, and then
Mm.
turn around. Now you face Lama and the opening, the islands. Oh, then I'm like, this makes sense to me because it's like home, right?
Yeah.
And the ride 25 minutes, the way ferry arrived the restaurant, same layout, man.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, same layout. I'm like, man, Neil, I know now why you said it's another Goy Island. This feels just like it, but a bit much bigger than my island. Mine is tiny.
Smaller than Lama.
Island is 400 meter wide, 900 meters long. It's a tiny rock in the middle of the ocean, man.
Oh, wow.
So, but then everything seems the layout, you know, in the small,
Mm.
small scale for us.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But then the culture shock also, you know, you see people, you are very different to everything else. Nothing looks like what you know back home, and
Yeah.
the attention we were getting back in the day, there were no many brothers here at all. I would walk months, I don't see anybody look like me in Hong Kong. I mean, if I had to, I would have come to Chim Chai Choi.
Yeah, chunking.
If I want to hang out with my brothers, and
Yeah.
that time it was like a handful of us you could count with, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of people coming and doing business.
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
and
yeah,
buying, but people who residently with it was very, very few.
Mm.
So, you know, it felt sometimes I was working in Central or anywhere in Hong Kong. It felt very different. It's like I was in a different planet because nothing is relatable to me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And the attention you're getting, I was getting. Oh man, it was just different, bro. I mean, but yeah. But other stuff you get to learn, you get to
Yeah.
adapt, and you know, people learn from you. They, like for example, I used to have friends. You know, people I used to teach in the APA, to become friends and stuff, and we used to have conversations. Sometimes people go, "Oh, people used to do this to me
What?
in Hong Kong here." Now forget about China. I used to go to China those days too.
Yeah.
People used to do that to me in Hong Kong here to cheat, pull my hair. Is this real? Is this you? They used to look at me like really close up. It was
Wow.
crazy, man, crazy. And I'm like, wow. And then I also used to tell them, you know, if I see anybody look like Asian, I'm a bit cautious
Yeah.
to cross the line because I think you're master kung fu. Because that's all we know, right?
That's all.
That's the
true,
only
the
thing we
movies.
knew about China, man. There was no
Yeah.
internet those days, man. Forget Facebook, forget WhatsApp those days, man.
That's true. That's
I mean,
true.
even to call my home, bro, I had to come to Chongqing, buy these phone cards. I
Yeah.
had like 8 minutes, 100 Hong Kong dollar for 8 minutes.
man.
Before I called my dad, hello, please pass me the other one to my mom. The whole thing is gone.
I know.
That's
I know.
those days. So there was no relationship. We were like, I felt like I was in a different planet.
Wow, man,
You know?
that's deep, man. This thing of Chinese and kung fu. You see, in my primary, we had like when I was in the day school, we had a Chinese, like he was Chinese
Mhm.
student, like he was a classmate. So in our school, like in the classes, we have this kind of thing that the biggest guy is the best. We call him the fast body. Fast body meaning he's the first one in fighting. So
Okay.
there's the first body, second body, third body. So the more stronger you are, you're the one who controls the class as the number one.
Oh yeah, like usually when
The ranks.
when the teacher goes out, asks you to
Yeah.
kind of monitor everybody else.
Not even monitor.
Not that
Like
one?
no, people are scared of you. Like
Oh,
you.
this is like the other side of
Yeah, like because you have a big body,
Yeah,
you're the
sure,
first
sure.
body. Nobody can mess with you.
right.
And then there's a second body, and then there's a third body. So we had a Chinese guy. He was skinny, like me, everything, but they put him as the first body because they thought he knew kung fu, and he was like,
Exactly,
yeah,
man.
he was
I
just
don't blame
wire,
them.
and we're like, don't mess with that guy. That
Yeah.
guy is the first body because he knows kung fu, but
You know how
That
it is.
was it.
That's the perception we have.
yeah, man,
And
I
also,
know
that's
that.
the only thing we were seeing on TVs and news, man. We didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
So there was this kind of disconnection between these two worlds.
Yeah.
What we were seeing, they used to see. And I remember living in Hong Kong for 10, 15 years, bro. I watched TV. I'm like, do they know we're Africans? Or there was nothing about us. I've never seen any programs that shows black people or something except safaris and stuff.
Yes.
So I was like, of course, then it's normal. People don't know each other very much because
Yeah.
of what I was fed
Yeah.
into the TVs, and that's the same thing they've been fed. So they only know about the safari and people
Yeah.
sick in Africa, when I only saw Kung Fu in China.
That's true.
So I couldn't blame them. That's when I realized, man, you gotta take things differently. It's not everything that comes is like supposed to be racism. It's just as much as I was very ignorant to all of this.
Yeah.
This is just as much some people will be ignorant to your culture and who you are. So
Yeah, man.
it really break it down for me to take things because the first few days before I kind of sit down and kind of make that kind of, you know, remark, and I was like, man, this is what is it, man? It's so different. Why they look? Why they acting like this with me? But then I'm like, oh, Makhaa, what do you know about them? You too. So I
Yeah,
come,
yeah.
Then it start making sense, and you know, slowly, you kind of get to it and learn how to deal with that.
Wow. So how was it? Because I guess that time when you're being invited to like schools to perform, how would the students like how they approach you guys? How would they were they scared of you guys when you play the drums, or did they come for advice? Were they curious to know more at that time? Or did they want to learn more, or were they just like scared?
No, they were not. They were not scared of. Like I said, they were not not used to this. You know, and
Yeah,
obviously there
yeah,
was
yeah.
this little barrier, so
Yeah.
called, like unsure of, and we were feeling the same because we never been to a school with so many kids. You know, there was that little both side. You like, oops, but then the drumming, the music just break that barrier. I swear to
Yeah,
God. That's
yeah.
why we start playing. You see, oh, they're really into it. They come, they join, they share their stuff, and they love it. And I'm like, wow, how come is this? You know, like this thing actually can really
Yeah, bring people together.
bring people together. You know, because and I said, I'm like, okay, they have also drumming culture. The tiny
Yeah.
drum.
Yeah,
So
they
there's so there's that little relationship already. You know, they're not kind of foreign to drumming.
Yeah.
They have Chinese drums, same to us too. So we, you know, and they really took drumming really from day one, man. It
Mm.
was just people liked it here. So then, you know,
That was it.
that was it.
Hong
That
Kong
was it.
became home.
Yeah, well, Lama would say.
Lama.
Yeah, because I think if it was Hong Kong as it is, just my personality, I would not be staying here very long, I would say. But
Mm.
Lama kind of gives you the balance. You know, you come out, you meet people, you do your stuff in the city, you get stuff done,
Yeah.
but then you retreat and you get back to earth.
Re-energize
Exactly.
yourself.
You hear the birds, everything sings. You know, old man's doing their thing, old woman in the morning, everything. You like, you know, at least you have that balance, right?
Yeah.
You know, so because they're all positive, you know, you can all get stuff that you know that you need from both sides.
Yeah.
But I
man,
like
yeah.
that balance. So challenging because you gotta get your schedule all made into ferry.
Yeah.
But once you kind of set it up, then you can do it.
Man, that is really some good stories, man.
Yeah, man.
So at that time, because I came around the time when there was the Olympics. You remember the Beijing Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when so many Africans were coming, and that's when China was opening up.
That's when everything opened. Yeah.
Yeah, 2007, 2008, I'd say 2008 is when things started
2008,
opening
literally,
up.
Yeah.
Because that's the time I was in Hong Kong during the Beijing Olympics.
True, true.
And so I guess this time, after staying for 7 years, let's say 2008, had you already established yourself with other members, or had you broken off? Were you still together with the same, like you said, you found one of your uncles from Senegal.
Mhm.
Were you still in the same band?
No,
Ah,
unfortunately, we broke up. Actually, we broke out like what 2003, bro.
oh,
Yes. So it didn't last long. It
Okay.
lasted a year, and then everybody had their own way of doing business and
Yeah.
things. So you know, we
Yeah,
all
yeah,
had to
yeah.
find our ways.
yeah, man.
So unfortunately, I had to do it by my own.
Oh,
Yeah. So you know, I had to find ways, and it was hard because you know nobody. You only have your jobs and no money literally with you. No money. I'm not kidding. Like $10 in your pocket in Lama with a drum. You gotta find flat and everything and visa.
yeah.
Those days, you know, and I could not even speak English or let alone Chinese, man.
How did you maneuver?
Yeah, good call, man. But good things happen in life.
Yeah.
You know, after that, I met a very wonderful woman, a Chinese lady, old Chinese lady,
Yeah.
on Lama.
Okay.
Mami, yeah, I have to say,
Yeah, man.
she's my
Big up.
everything in here, man. Because
Yeah.
when things was really didn't seem to have any light, she was the light for me, you know, because I left that who I was working with. I just got out of the house with my drums, way to go. Lucky enough, as soon as I was at the house, I met this guy called Vincent. He's also from France.
Mm.
He's looking for flat. I'm looking for flat. All right, man. Let's put it together. I don't have money. Oh, I can put the down payment. Then you pay. I'm like, great. I'm gonna get work soon.
Yeah.
All right. So we go down. I managed to get some work going. I paid him a little bit
Nice.
for that first month. But then the next month is like, I'm gonna get it done. Only God knows. And I have to get myself a visa because I have 2 weeks left of visa. So I had to go and open my own business company actually.
Yeah.
So I registered a company, and I had to sponsor myself. I worked actually for a company and two. For
Yeah.
1 year, they only sponsored me just for me to kind of teach their kids, children, just to bring this culture, this
Yeah.
drumming up here. But then every time I do that, I just see the direction is different to where I want to go. It doesn't
Mm.
work out, so I gotta end up by myself again. I do 2 times until 2005 actually.
Mm.
After those two, then I opened my own company, and I had to sponsor myself through that. I had to go to the immigration and tell them I was drum. They're like, "What's this?" First time, I'm like, "This is what it is." And I had to be a businessman. I had to switch everything and become a business. With
Nice.
some great help from people I know from Lamado. This lady
Yeah.
called Karen Goldman, very very sweet sister of mine. She's from Israel, and then few cool people in Lama. Very nice
Nice.
community. So they kind of show me what's to be done, but I have to put things by myself also and
Yeah.
make it make sense to the immigration to convince them. Have to open office. You have to put everything together, and I did. So I went and I managed to get myself a sponsor by my own company,
Nice.
which was yeah. I felt very proud doing that. So then every year I have to go back to them for the next 4 years, and I have to convince them that last year the drumming actually bring positivity in Hong Kong. People, I'm doing something, I'm sharing it, and that's where everything started, bro. So every year I come, I have to prove what I've done last year, where I'm at now, so on until 2007. I got my permanent. So I was lucky. I got my documents established before even I come home with Neil, and I working visa, and then through the whole time I was in working visa, and the last 4 years I managed to do it myself, and then 2007 I got my permanent ID actually.
Nice, man.
So we kind of opened a little path here
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they even didn't know what drumming was, let alone asking to get a visa to stay here.
Yeah, man. Hey,
So-
man. That's really dope.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so you got your permanent, you got your
Mhm.
company,
yeah.
and then you started recruiting a few dancers. Cause I remember seeing you in different events, Clock
Yeah.
and Flap,
Yeah.
and they're from different countries.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, throughout the years I have different people coming through
Yeah.
and now dancing, and
Yeah.
unfortunately they don't stay long in Hong Kong. They come like a year, 2, or a few months.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You have to do with what you got, right?
Yeah.
So, but I had quite a lot of people who came through over the years from American dancer called Nikisha, man. She was my regular dancer. Sabrina, I don't know if you know Sabrina from Jamaica.
Mm.
There was another lady from France. There was, there was a lot of people who came through, man. That if I even say your name today, you're like, what? There is, but I'll just keep them. But I had a lot of people dance for me.
Yeah.
That, we know them, quite
Yeah.
respected people over here. Because, obviously everybody also wanted to be, wanted to do the beats also to share, to share
Yeah.
this culture. Because
Yeah.
at that time it was new, and, they're part of it too. So it was easy for me to recruit some. And I had a few guys. I was working with people here that were like working as refugee, but I used to just take them to come with me because I felt like they for them to stay in Hong Kong here and then not doing anything is so hard, man. At least
Yeah.
they could experience a home feeling with
Yeah.
coming drumming with me and stuff, and going to places and things like that, and sharing what they have as talent as well. They can find ways to it as well.
Yeah.
So I did that, and play with very very a lot of different people throughout the years and all that. And at some point, I had a band set. Like for
Yeah.
example, my brother and another sister dancers that I took over, and yeah, we were rolling things in. But then things also just fall apart. one way
Yeah.
or the others.
Yeah.
You gotta pick up the pieces again, clean everything, and find another direction to go. It's always hassle, man, because we are in the industries that sometimes it can be, I won't say negative, but it's just because we all come with different expectation of where we want to take our skill and our talent.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes you establishing a company, you want them to work with you, but you're giving them a platform where they can get their documents, everything. But some people have, they see a little bit too fast, too far from you. You become a barrier while you're just
Trying to help them out.
right. So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then old names, old things start hitting your names. You're like, I didn't I didn't see this coming. But it's human. We are all
Yeah.
human. We make mistakes. I mean, people sometimes have different perspective about the situation because they don't know or they be influenced. So
Yeah.
I learned to take it and move on because I don't know what I've done to someone behind. So I forgive and hopefully I get that same thing if I have done anything wrong to someone at the back. So
Yeah.
you learn to just roll with the
Yeah, man.
with the flow. But um, but now I have my studio. I'm more focused in doing some cultural events.
Yeah.
Still performing, teaching, doing workshop in schools and everything.
Yeah.
But I actually have a place where I can really do events culturally and share a lot more than I
Yeah.
could do just by myself going to the venues.
We're gonna talk about that right now, but I want to know. So, I remember the last time me and you we met before I left for Kenya, and we met and we had a good talk, and you're like, brother, man, go, come back, we're gonna do
Yeah.
stuff. We had things that we wanted to work on.
Definitely.
It was like, in fact, we were supposed actually to meet in Lama, me coming with my DJ set,
Definitely, yes. We had a
shooting
few-
cameras,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we wanted to shoot something actually at
True.
was it at open space
Exactly, yeah.
at Jim Brockman's place. We were supposed to do something, but then COVID came. What happened? Like when it arrived, the pandemic, and then the
Oh,
gigs
man.
closed down. What happened? Like, wow.
Yeah, COVID was, I mean, to me, again, I would say, to me, I see two sides because
Yeah.
I found myself through COVID in one way,
Yeah.
It was hard because everything, just before COVID, things was kicking on. I was gigging like everywhere. I remember that. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, I was actually preparing to go home.
Mm.
I kind of prepared a lot of materials, equipment that I was going to take home with to some people.
I remember you wanted to ship some drums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like not only drums, like materials.
bring some more
everything.
also.
Yeah, I was in a transaction of doing some kind of cool stuff in transitions. But then, yeah, when COVID hit, I was like, okay, you know what? I mean, let's wait it out because it's not gonna last. Hopefully, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. After the six, really you're like, okay, this is getting a bit serious because
Yeah.
you were still doing some work, but I guess to a point where they just cut everything off because it got a bit serious, right?
Yeah.
And entertainment musicians, we are the first one to get out of the window because it's the least people can do with beverages and catering. They need food, but
Yeah.
entertainment, right? So we've been cut off. But I was lucky because, like I said, I have this knowledge with the sea. I'm a good swimmer and I can
Yeah.
kayak. I can sail. I can do everything.
Yeah.
So and I can teach basketball and everything. So, because I was actually coaching basketball for ESF.
Okay.
The first few years when I first came here.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
people
yeah.
didn't know the drumming. I couldn't make money. So my other side, even though I
Hustle.
have my visa, I was doing 50. So I had to go. And at one point, the government stopped me and said, "Hey, you have your business. You've been given visa to work for your business, not to go and teach for ESF basketball." So I had to write.
Yeah.
To ask for authorization actually to do that.
Okay, wow.
Exactly. And then I had to work for ESF. I was going to international school coaching basketball as assistant because my English. So I was helping someone. That's what kept me going because the drumming nobody knew, right? You couldn't make
Yeah.
a living of it right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
slowly, building that one. So when COVID hit, I was like, okay, well, and I had an idea a few years before when I was on Lama. I'm like, is nobody renting kayaks on Lama? Nobody's doing anything like that.
Yeah.
And I bought some kayaks in Sayun. You know, I work for Sayun Farm,
Yeah,
right?
yes, I'm farm.
So they had some kayaks because they had a place called Palm Beach before that.
Mm.
So when they moved to Sayun, there was these kayaks and these water sport things that were there, and they didn't have use of it because it's a completely different business, right?
Yeah.
The venue they had. So I came in and I asked them, if I can buy it from them. So they sold me those. I had like 9 kayaks, different sizes, everything. So I left it there because I was going to ship it back home to my dad and my brother, who are
Yeah.
my dad is lifeguard and my
Yeah.
younger brother same, and so they were gonna do business there and rent it and use it also to rescue people, just for the community.
Yeah.
So I saved it just to wait for COVID to go and I can send it, or find a way when I have chance to do that. But then when COVID hit, I was like, man, you have no other things to do. You can use those kayaks, bring them to Lama, and rent it out because
Yeah.
people will need to rent kayak and go out to
Yeah.
at least do social distancing. In my head, it's a good idea, right?
Yeah, it
Because I
is.
was doing it a lot every day. I was like, wow, this is not bad. So I cleared the beach. I set up my little place to do kayak rental and stuff, and stand up paddleboard and everything, and that kept me going through that whole time. And then I also started another basketball course in Muiwo. Muiwo, I had a whole academy going as well. So for those years I was doing that, and then once in a while I go to teach some group of family and kids in small park. It's more open, we're not together, but at least
Yeah.
to give them something, because it's hard for them to just be shut in
Yeah.
all the time with kids not even having something to do. So that pushed me to. I used to go Muiwo,
Cheng Chao.
Peng Chao, everywhere, just to also give them that. So all of that, those things kept me going a little bit throughout COVID.
Yeah.
I took a lot of time to also get in touch with myself, think of what's more important in life and everything, and learn also that you gotta diversify yourself, because just you see you're doing drumming, all of a sudden this stuff
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
If you had nothing else you could have done, how would it work? Paying your rent and everything, and supporting still the family back home, how it is and everything. So grateful that I had those skills and knowledge, all because of my dad, who taught me everything,
Man,
and my
respect to
upbringing.
him.
So big
Respect
time,
to
man.
him.
Big
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
respect
man.
for-
Wow.
So that's how I got through it, man, in COVID.
Wow. That's dope. So after COVID is when you started at Sankofa, because okay, before all that, like, just explain to us, because I know you have a space in Wanchai,
Yeah.
and maybe you could tell us how it started, how it began, where you got the idea, and like what you do, like what made you decide, like, okay, I think I need to share this in a more better space, because
Yeah.
from COVID, teaching outdoors to going back indoors is a big step.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, because you don't know if it's gonna come back and then everything again shuts
Exactly,
down.
Exactly.
So what made you come up with the idea that I need to get a space, need to do this, and this is what I'm going to do?
Well, this was something I always wanted to do, but maybe didn't have the right people to do it.
Yeah.
And the venue opportunity as well.
Yeah.
'Cause this just came in at the perfect timing. Because after all of this, me and my wife, we said, okay, you know what? We want to open this association called, Hong Kong African Cultural Art and African Art and Cultural Association of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So we had an idea to do that because my wife is a capoeirista, and she does travel a lot to Brazil and the Afro-Caribbean, so she's quite knowledgeable in that department.
Yeah.
So then of course me, I do my African thing, so we like and then there's no places where you can go and learn the real traditional African drumming and culture. I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
it's true.
So we like, you know what? Why not do we do that? And not only remain in drumming and dancing, the whole lot. You can talk cultural, our experiences, where I come from. There's a lot I can share it and things like that. And then, to her also her knowledge about capoeira and Brazil, and she got a lot of friends interested in this kind of art forms and things. So we're like, why don't we put something like that together where actually people can come and experience all of these? We can do corporate things. We can work with community, with everything. You know, we just a platform where people can come. So then yeah, we like, okay, let's open it up. So we set up this association legally throughout everything,
Yeah.
and with two of our friends, you know. So then now, you know, we have to find a place for this.
Yeah.
And we also had a very, very cool relationship, I think, from one of the member of this association. Kind of had a good relationship with this place called Futak Building,
Okay.
which is a cool place because they kind of they help people as well in artists. They help artists in getting a bit of like some places just something to do because they make
Okay.
it a bit easy for us to get access to that.
Yeah.
The rent
okay.
is not too bad, and the place is like suitable for artists because many studios for art and so on. So we got that link, and I came in, I checked the place, and I'm like, you know, this is it, man. This is this is a good place. Let's take it. You know, even if we have to financially, you know,
Yeah.
work to get it, to pay for it. We were okay, and they made it easy for us. So when we had the place, we like, okay, this is it. We do our own decoration, renovations, and stuff. Put on programs we want to teach, and yeah, and then we started. But the first year we didn't do much because COVID was still. You
Yeah.
couldn't gather by more than 4 people and things like
Yeah.
that. So we were working like literally like 10% of what we could have done. You know, like. But then after that, that's when we start slowly picking it up. It's been now almost 6 months. We are consistently trying to do some classes, and we do some talks
Mm-hmm.
about African culture, and
Nice.
it's a cultural series talk. We're gonna talk about everything, and then every time we finish the talk, we do a drum session
Yeah.
and food sharing, African delicacies and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah, you should call me to DJ there some African music.
absolutely, we have set there, man. All you need to do is just bring maybe
My DJ controller.
exactly. I think next one we'll get you on. I'll
Right.
talk to the crew.
Yeah, let's see what's up.
Let's see
see
what's
what's
up.
up.
If you're free for
I'll be free. Like I'll be happy to come and
Man,
share some, not necessarily like the latest Afrobeat, but I want to play traditional music from Africa, like
yeah, share what you
the
have,
foundation,
man.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even
then
if you want to come and speak, if you have a topic you want to talk about, let us know.
Oh, okay,
Because
cool.
that's
cool,
what
man.
it is. We want to, bring different
Yeah.
ideal, different ways. Because we see one ways, but someone else might have,
That's true.
right? So it's good to just put it out, and more people will have different
Yeah, different
avenues and
ideas.
different ideas. They will learn a bit more. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, all these years I've been here, man, I've never seen any educational programs about the continent in here.
True.
And
True.
we can only do very much, so we start somewhere and try our best, because
Yeah.
we gotta get to know each other.
Man, so what's the name? Sankofa.
Sankofa is the name of the
Sankofa
studio.
is a song. There's a song called it's a song.
But Sankofa is actually a word, right?
Yeah, what does it mean?
It means back to the roots. Very similar to what you're doing.
Back to the roots.
You see? So Sankofa, that's what it means. Literally, we you gotta go back
Yeah, to the roots to discover.
so you can even
Yeah,
shine
man.
and jump further.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
you've
man.
got
That's
foundation.
dope. Oh, the one I'm thinking about is Sangoma, probably. It's from South
maybe
Africa.
Sangoma, yeah.
From South
Probably.
Africa, not Sankofa. Yeah, man. So Sankofa, it's in
Mhm.
Wanchai,
Simancha, yeah.
and you have
Nice
your IG page,
We have IG page,
Facebook.
We got website.
website. So
Yeah.
Sankofa, SANN for let's say Nigeria, N, and
Yeah.
then KOFA
That's right.
HK.
Yeah.
That's on
Sankofa
Instagram.
HK, that's it. Yeah.
People can follow you.
Ah, yes.
What's the youngest you teach drums? The youngest you.
6 months old, bro.
My son is 15 months.
It's
so
it's
and I-
more than ready for it.
but he loves more like DJing when I'm DJing at home. But
Of course, man.
we have a drum too, and he's like bam, 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 bam. So I think I should bring him.
Bring it, man. Bring it. Because what we do is we actually, when somebody say teach, I'm like, oops. Like that age, we don't teach them.
You just let them play and feel free and.
Yeah, I mean, we teach them, but we don't teach them drums. Like,
Mm.
we use a drum to play games and plays that actually we believe kind of, you know, it helps a little bit with who we, as their characters, and give them, for example, put it this way. We have games that where they're each gonna come and choose their favorite color shakers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Red,
yeah.
blue, you know which one is your favorite. You give it to them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So each one have my favorite one. But now we have to dance and the drum. We have to move around. When the drum is stopped,
Yeah.
you have to swap with your friend.
Yeah.
As a 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, usually they don't want to really swap. I would
Yeah.
They just want to call their favorite.
Oh.
But they got to learn now how to give your favorite one to a friend in friendly ways.
Yeah.
And then later it's going to come back to you because you're going to swap again.
Yeah.
So all those little values that we add, and also how to just move their hand coordination and attention by some call and response. So many games that we do. For me, I call it like early childhood education.
Yeah.
Because we
yeah.
try and get our human senses up first before they get caught with this technology stuff, you know?
I'm telling you, man. I
So,
try so
yeah.
much, like, for my son not to really, like, watch YouTube or stuff like that, and we don't even have a TV.
He's
Like,
going to at some point. He's going
yeah,
you guys are doing all
yeah.
you
Well,
can, but
we
he's
are doing
going
all
to.
we can, but when
Yeah.
once he sees the phone, he wants to see what's going
Yeah.
on. But
At
I
least
try
give him an opportunity to
play around.
just get
play with the
some-
instruments and
get us first, like, you know,
Yeah.
as human, you know, some things that we do.
yeah,
As a human,
yeah.
drumming, dance, singing, whatever else, nature walk, anything first, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you know, Hong Kong is so small because even if it's small, but you find you don't get kids coming together to play together like we do back in Africa. Like once
Yeah.
you're like 1 year, you are
That's
pushed to
right.
the neighbors and the neighbors'
Exactly,
kids and the
yeah.
whole community, and you all go and you get lost in the forest, or you get lost and then you come back
Exactly.
in the evening. Nobody even cares where you went. Like you just come back
Exactly.
dirty, you get your beatings,
You
and
get your little bidding, yeah, you know how it is.
by here it's like you go to the playground, nobody knows each other, no kid wants to
Yeah,
play
it's
with each
different,
other.
different,
It's
yeah.
kind of different, man.
Exactly, it's different.
I don't want to say it's sad, but it's maybe somehow, I
It's
don't know,
different,
it's
man.
just different
It's different, bro.
how they're growing up.
So Lama kids, that's why I say Lama kids have it cool, because
Yeah,
they get to meet people from all over the world. Lama is safe. They're one.
Yeah.
They experience this nature thing. That then they
Yeah.
can just jump on a ferry and be right on Central in the middle of the biggest cities. So you have that kind of reflections from these two worlds, which is
Yeah.
sometimes very important. You know,
yeah, man, yeah, man.
I feel.
Yeah, man. So how does it feel sharing the culture? When I say the African culture, because I don't want to say you're sharing your hometown culture, because you're representing us, like from the Africa, you're representing us.
Mhm.
The people you've worked with from different countries,
Yeah.
they are all representing Africa as a whole. How does it feel sharing your culture with the students and the people who come and watch you perform? Like, what kind of feeling does it do to you? Like,
Amazing, man. Amazing, bro. I mean, you know, when you bring something from your home,
yeah,
and then you're hoping people will take it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And when they do, you know how it feels. You know, you're like,
yeah.
you
That's
know,
all you want.
That's all you want. Because that's
Yeah.
what I said. For me, seeing Djembe and the culture here now today, I'm
Yeah.
like, I've succeeded with what I had to do. Because when I
Yeah.
came here, I had to do this. I had to.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's nothing here. I have to, be one of those who
Yeah,
get it
man.
going. And now it's everywhere. Literally, like all the schools, everything, everybody knows.
Yeah, man.
And so, and then we have brothers also coming work through this in this whole industry. So
Nice.
for me, I sit there, but I'm very content. Nothing about money or success, but I'm very content that
Yeah, man.
I didn't fail. I could I could come here and go different ways,
Yeah.
show a different
Yeah, man.
vibe and image, and probably wouldn't.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, but
Man,
you know.
Makhaa, man. We've gone overboard with the time, but that's fine. What I'm really gotten from today is that really you're a hustler,
I work.
legal hustler. You've done construction, you've done drums, you've taught basketball,
Yeah.
swimming, you've done the kayaks, the stand-up paddle boats,
Yeah.
drumming workshops right now, teaching all ages, I'd say,
Yeah.
from 6 months up with
To
games.
people, exactly.
You do team building
Mhm.
with corporates,
Yeah.
corporate events. You work with DJs. You've worked with
Yeah.
many DJs in Hong Kong, and I'm really happy to be one of them.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, but then I'm happy, man. You are a good friend of mine. Like,
Yeah.
If I would say one of the best people I met in Hong Kong, like Makhaa, even though we haven't met so much, because I know I follow you, I see everything you do, man. It's really inspiring. I hope my son can come one day to Sankofa.
For sure, man. Same to you, bro. I have to
Yeah.
hand you the ball too, man. You've really worked yourself up.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Big time, bro.
We've come from far,
You know?
and thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you did.
I think, what message do you have for anyone who's upcoming, like a drummer,
Yeah.
someone who's playing traditional drums?
Mhm.
What message do you have for them? Like, what can you tell them? Because you've been through all these hassles
Yeah.
to love now what you're doing. Like, what
Mhm.
can you tell them?
Just be humble, enjoy the process, man. I mean, we all have different expectation and different
Yeah,
how much it worth to me may be different to how much it worth to somebody else.
yeah, that's
But
true.
the most important thing is just be fair, be humble, and respect people as
Yeah.
you would be respecting yourself,
Yeah, man.
and try and do your best to represent the culture as best as you can, because the image is the ones that's gonna follow in that's gonna have to discover what you've left here, because if it's positive they're gonna get positive, if it's
Yeah.
negative that's what they're gonna get. So just be yourself, enjoy the process, respect, do the right thing, and
That's
open the
it.
heart to everyone, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's
man.
what I have to say.
It's a pleasure being with you.
My pleasure always, brother.
PamoJah.
Respect you, PamoJah. Yes,
And
I.
maybe, as Sankofa goes on in the next coming months,
Mhm.
probably we can have a part 2, and you can talk more
Absolutely,
about
man.
drums. Probably you even can come with one drum and
Uh-huh.
bless us with something.
Anything is possible, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much.
Appreciate your work, man. Nice stuff.
Yeah.
One love.
Yeah, man. One love, one love.
Yes, I.
PamoJah.
Peace, PamoJah.